smart cities, after all, are only truly smart if they serve people in smart ways. We need, in the age of machine automation, to make sure we keep an emphasis on human autonomy. 15 years ago, Sony couldn't get a robot to walk. Now, watch YouTube, Vimeo, and scores of videos. They play football now. Sony has an entire wing of its research facilities set aside for what it calls robot anthropology. They are working with British anthropologists to study how robots will interact with us at every level of life. And if you go to a mobile phone store in Japan today, the first, quote, being you will interact with will be a social bot. A machine programmed with software largely developed at Cambridge University called Emote, which can allow the machine to biometrically read your facial expressions, gauge your emotions, and respond in kind. These are used in care homes in Japan. 1,000 care homes use these things as augmented carers. And you know, in a recent study, 95% of clients in the aged care homes said they preferred the robotic carer to the human variety. And of course, there's challenges with automation. The biggest one is job loss. 230 million jobs will be automated globally in the next 20 years. 35% of all jobs in the UK will be automated. I was on the BBC the other day talking about the House of Lords report last week into automation. At least they're talking about it. And one of the big challenges is, yes, technology always opens up new types of jobs. There were no typesetters until the printing press. There were no Uber drivers until the digital revolution. So new tech brings new jobs, but the question now will be, can we transition quickly enough between one type of job and another? Young people coming up now may have to transition not just to working for different companies, but in totally different careers 5 or 6 times in their lifetime. How can we help them transition there? So we need to make sure in the midst of all the technology we humanize the digital. One of the areas that most needs that is what I call digital debt. It's happening now, it's going to get bigger. Digital debt, you know, cash is messy. It gets dirty. It's a pain to carry around in your pocket. But because it has weight, you can tell it's leaving your pocket, sometimes too rapidly. Your credit card doesn't change weight when you spend. And binary code, cryptocurrency code on a screen does not change weight when you spend. And as a result of that, we're seeing a growing problem in the UK that isn't yet being talked about, but I promise it will be. I call it digital debt. The number of charities in Scotland and England today dealing with debt is growing, in some areas quite markedly, largely, I believe, because of digital debt. People just cannot keep track of this. They're spending without forethought because it's just too easy to do. Am I saying it's the technology's fault? No, technology is not the problem. It's how we use it. Technology can be wonderful and lead to a great future, or it can lead to something more dystopian. The human choice is the big thing.